Good Morning Night Vale is brought to you by The Disappearances of Lydia Fontaine, a new independently produced and crowdfunded 10-episode original audio drama. Set in a deceptively familiar world of electronic surveillance and machine-mediated communication, The Disappearances of Lydia Fontaine follows Lydia Ryan and her friends, lovelorn Ethan and wannabe internet sensation Dee, as they struggle to unravel the mystery of her mother's disappearance. Escape the sinister Fontaine family, and survive the feud over her grandfather's supernatural legacy. It weaves bitter family drama and high-stakes intrigue with fantasy and cyberpunk elements to create a surreal mystery about secrets and grudges, old books, big data, and the promise of infinite knowledge. And do not forget the talking birds. It's a full-cast production with original music and a bespoke soundscape presented through a series of found-footage-style surveillance recordings. And it's important to note, this show was made entirely without generative AI. Even the computers are voiced by human actors. Episodes are free, and you can start listening right now with the Season 1 finale due to come out on August 16th. For more information, go to lydiadisappears.com. and find The Disappearances of Lydia Fontaine wherever you get your podcasts and start listening from the beginning.
Insurance isn't one size fits all, and shopping for it shouldn't feel like squeezing into something that just doesn't fit. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they show you options that fit your budget. Enough hunting for discounts, trying to calculate rates, and tinkering with coverages. Maybe you're picking out your very first policy, or maybe you're just looking for something that works better for you and your family. Either way, they make it simple to see your options. No guesswork, no surprises. Ready to see how easy and fun shopping for car insurance can be? Visit Progressive.com and give the Name Your Price tool a try. Take the stress out of shopping and find coverage that fits your life, on your terms. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Weird at last. Weird at last.
God almighty, weird at last.
Good morning, Night Vale.
Hey everybody, it's your favorite teenage militia leader, Symphony Sanders.
And your least favorite brother outside the law, Hal Lublin.
And your mid-level favorite sentient patch of haze, Meg, who plays Deb, who plays your soul. Welcome to Good Morning Night Vale, everyone. This is episode 9, Good Morning Pyramid. We are so excited to be back chatting with you, as we do every week, about old episodes of the hit popular weird cult fan podcast. Welcome to Night Vale. So today we find ourselves at episode 9, Pyramid.
Yes, and here is the description. A large philosophical pyramid appears in town, announcing several messages. But is it what it seems? Plus, best practices for regular skin checks, an update on the levitating cat, and whatever happened to that vile barber.
Great. Awesome. Yeah, I love this episode. This one feels really fun. I love that the creation of this episode was an experiment that Joseph and Jeffrey did with a person that they knew from Twitter.
Yeah, Regis
Locker. Yeah. To get the text of the pyramid, they asked this person who was funny on Twitter and at that point was tweeting from with their avatar as a pyramid. They were just tweet lots of things in all caps. And so they asked Regis to do that. And then they wrote a script around it. And I think that's a pretty ambitious thing to do, only 9 episodes in. And the results are great. I think that they were able to really shape a great episode around this and do a lot with it and really reveal a lot about the town.
Yeah, you really get an idea just from the first couple of minutes regarding how strangers should be treated in the town. And the town as a whole feels this way, that everyone should be mistrusted and avoided. And then, and even friends and loved ones, like, can you really trust them? You know, which is, I think, so interesting. And when you think about back in the day when it was like the Red Scare and all that, right? When people were like, is your neighbor a communist? It really sets up that whole feeling of mistrust in Night Vale.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a town built on paranoia, and the world is built on paranoia and suspicion and people listening in and things being enforced violently by kind of faceless
vigilante justice
and like dictatorial, faceless city councils. It's interesting, and look, there's nothing new about this. This wasn't invented by improvising, but it makes me think of improvising, how Jeffrey and Joseph worked with an outside writer, where that outside writer could send whatever they want. Regis could have sent whatever he wanted at any time, and it was Joseph and Jeffrey's job to sort of build around that and make it fit, or find the ways that it doesn't fit and exploit that. Which is like, nothing has to fit in Night Vale. Is there anything you can drop into an episode of Night Vale that you would say like doesn't fit or couldn't fit somehow?
No. I mean, I'm sure they'd find some way to make it fit in, no matter how strange or normal, I guess. But this one, especially the pyramid, it drops into the meditation zone. Do either of you meditate? Have you ever meditated before?
Sometimes I like zone out when I'm really tired. Does that count?
I tried one of those apps. I can't remember which one. And I would sit there. It was like a British guy.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know how well wired I am for it. I feel like I have to work into meditating, because the whole time I'm like, has this been 2 minutes? Are we almost done? This is very relaxing, but are we almost done? Can I look at my phone? Am I not allowed to look at my phone? Where should I be looking? Should I look up, down, ahead? Maybe I should close my eyes. Nope. Now I'm just getting pictures of what might be in the room. I'm going to open my eyes and look around and see if it's there. So like, I'm just not built for it. You probably do though, don't you, Symphony? I feel like you would.
I try to do things that quiet my mind. So I do yoga and things like that. But then I have found that, my mind still like rushes and like thoughts come in and out. And I think sometimes people get confused that meditation is not about completely shutting that out. It's about letting those things come in and just like letting it flow across like your mind's eye or whatever, instead of like focusing on it, just like a thought comes to you and you can just like let it go. But what do you think in Night Vale? It says there's like meditation equipment and paraphernalia. What do you think that is? Just like a bunch of like little Buddhas, or those like lucky cats with the arm?
I think it's stuff to strap you in, so that you really got to focus. There's nothing you can't, you can only focus on trying to escape,
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm eating snacks, I black out and then I wake up and the snacks are gone. So maybe it's like snacks for snack meditation.
What snack makes you black out the most? What was the last snack blackout you had? Snack out. What was the last snack out?
Snack out.
It's probably popcorn related or large bowl of fruit related, because I'm at the point in my life where I know that, you could interchange large bowl of fruit with bag of Skittles, but I'm not allowed near the Skittles anymore. So I have the large bowl of fruit, and so sometimes I wake up and the whole watermelon's gone, and
There are worse things, I think, than eating a large bowl of watermelon.
Yeah, eating a lot of fruit until you're so full you feel like you're going to puke.
Right.
Because it's cold, sweet, and delicious. Maybe that's the meditation equipment that I think about, is just large bowls of cold fruit.
I imagine Pilates reformers, but like the full ones. If you're not familiar with Pilates, go find a Pilates studio or look at a picture online, and you'll be like, is this where suburbanites go to get tortured? Because they all look like rats.
And the answer is yes.
Like the Wonder Chair. But yeah, it's really Jennifer,
like you're
my
gonna be
wife,
stretched.
She was a Pilates instructor for a couple of years. And I went and took classes with her like twice. And
how did that go?
That's real hard. You shake all the time. Like I shake going upstairs. Like, look, there are certain exercises I can do, and then there are others where like this is a muscle set that I didn't think that I had. Although, tell me if this is true. You're a fitness expert, Symphony.
I am. I'm a fitness professional.
Is it true that everybody has like a six pack? It's just underneath a bunch of stuff?
Yes.
So then I'm already done.
Hypothetically, yes, but like you have to burn off all that fat that might be in between those tissues that will cause your rectus abdominis not to be fully on display, you know?
Hilarious name, but do I have to? Because it's already there. Like, I've already achieved it, right? What I'm saying is, do I have to exercise?
Yes, the answer is yes.
Oh, you're the worst.
Because look, the more you exercise those muscles, the stronger you are, and the more you're able to stand up straight. It's not just about having a six-pack ab. It's about being healthy and moving through your life in a healthy way. And if you don't have strong muscles supporting your core and your spine, you're going to be bent over and decrepit.
Whatever.
If you're like me and you don't like really exhaust yourself through exercise every day, then you get sad and crazy. So...
Right? It does really help with the endorphins. Like, I realized if I don't exercise regularly, I feel less put together. I always feel more, I have a more positive outlook when I exercise regularly.
Oh, fine.
I feel lucky to be able-bodied to exercise, because I know that there's people out there who don't get to have the benefits of exercise because of whatever situation that they're working with. And so whenever I lack motivation for exercise, I often think that I'm lucky enough to be able to manage my mood through exercise.
It's true. It's a privilege. You've both convinced me. Thank you very much.
Well, as we transition back into our discussion of this episode, we have the privilege of making those choices for ourselves. But unfortunately, in Night Vale, you have the sheriff's secret police going around tasing people to get things done. And they think tasing a pyramid is going to really help. Can we talk about the whole idea that this was a marketing ploy by Flakios?
They're Flakios, yeah. We're engaging with a brand.
Yeah.
It's brand engagement, which is great. And I love that it's Flakios, cereal that people eat at night.
Isn't that all cereal, though?
I mean, you can eat cereal any time of day. People are like, it's a breakfast food. No, it's not. It's just a food. Crunchy, sometimes sweet, good with milk, dairy or non-dairy. Yeah. Do you have a particular nighttime snack that you like to enjoy?
Well, I do like nighttime cereal, honestly. And I really like, as a dessert, peanut butter Cheerios, because they're delicious and multigrain. Or if those are unavailable, I like the Reese's Puffs, because those are a less healthy choice. But if I'm just feeling like a little sandwich and a little savory, I do peanut butter, honey, bacon, and banana, all fried in bacon fat.
That's Elvis style.
That sounds real good.
Oh, yeah.
Now imagine those little tiny sandwiches as little tiny bits of cereal, and you have SymphOs.
No, just SymphOs. Oh.
There you go, SymphOs.
SymphOs. That's perfect. It's like, I remember French Toast Crunch. They're like little tiny pieces of French toast. Yeah, it's like that, but they're SymphOs, and they're little tiny bacon, banana, peanut butter, honey sandwiches that are fried, and then you put them in a bowl.
How has nobody mass marketed bacon cereal yet? I know that probably if you went to a Spencer's Gifts, there's a box in the back by the creative rubber penises, but nobody. There are no bacon Cheerios. There's no Frosted Flakes with bacon. There's no honeycomb. That's
actually kind of surprising to me, because people do all sorts of other things with bacon. Like bacon whiskey. I've seen bacon whiskey. Sure. Like bacon flavored whiskey, but hey, maybe it doesn't preserve well. It would just have to be those nasty Bako bits, which is not real bacon, and will just do a not disjustice. That's not
disservice.
A word. What is that? Disservice. I is smart. I went to college.
A great injustice towards bacon. All right. Away from snacks yet again, that I let us down, and back to the show. So we check in with Telly the Barber, who we last heard from. When did we last hear from Telly? Is it episode 3?
Yeah, when he cut Carlos's hair.
Yeah. So we're checking back in with him, and things have not.
He's messed up.
Yeah. Things did not go well. I've seen some theories that they think that Cecil might have put a curse on him.
Wasn't there a theory out there that we discussed recently that Cecil is like somehow in like mental control or has some psychic abilities? And if so, then he didn't intentionally put a curse, but sort of his bad thoughts all of a sudden damaged Telly and he's wandering the desert now.
I think it goes even more simple than that. He just literally cyberbullied him. So he's been shunned by the town and everybody's like, hiss, Telly, hiss, and he's been driven out and driven mad by the town's full shunning and rejection. It's very much like everyone's turned their back on him.
So Cecil cyberbullied Telly the Barber. What would Melania say?
Be best. Cecil needs to be best.
Be best.
Oh my
All
God.
Right. So that's bonkers where we pick up with Telly, but it's nice to see some threads starting to pull through from episode to episode, some continuity things starting to happen in the world where we pick back up.
And then we, after that, talk seeing Khoshekh again and how much he's grown on Cecil and how everyone at the station is really chipping in their time and efforts to love this cat. And then that woman,
Michaela,
she like put her other dog to sleep. Weimaraner.
Yeah, 3-month-old Weimaraner.
Weimaraners are kind of crazy.
But they're beautiful. I love a Weimaraner. They're like a statue. No, dogs should be put to sleep when they're too sick to live or they're very violent and hurt children, but not because you like cats, just because you find yourself into cats.
But that's so extreme, just like everything else. People have these extreme views.
I love the conversation where they talk about Brad the intern, how he has figured out a way because he's into dark magic and
carpentry,
woodworking carpentry, so that he can build a litter box that floats. I love it.
Do you think he has to continuously like do that spell, or is it just like a one time like halakazabra and then it's floating?
I think you probably said it and forget it. If the cat can float continuously, why not allow the litter box to float? Here's the other thing. He talks about the lack of exercise and how big, like he's on the Science Hill Science Hill diet cat food because Khoshekh doesn't have room to move. I guess I always imagined that in the floating, it was sort of like you could go up to Khoshekh and spin Khoshekh around.
Yeah, like on a rotisserie.
Yeah, he could move his legs and neck and stuff. Like he's not like frozen catatonic, pun not intended, but like has motion, but just I can't leave the space. So you could get exercise, like fake, like that thing where you pick up, if you put a dog in water and then you pick the dog up, the dog is still paddling.
And their legs still keep going.
Most adorable.
You're on a weird, floating cat treadmill, and that's great. You could work out all day. You could be running at full clip all day in the exact same spot.
But I mean, if you think about it scientifically, look at astronauts. They still exercise and do all that stuff in space, but when they come back down, their muscles have atrophied in a funny way because of like the weightlessness. So no matter how much you exercise, you're still, it's not the same because there's no weight bearing.
Yeah. You don't realize how much energy you're expending working against gravity.
Right.
Just to keep yourself standing up and off the ground. Also, when you come back from space, you're taller.
Oh, right, because you don't have gravity compressing your spine.
Then I need to go to space.
Hello.
5'2".
Is it true that all cats have a six-pack even when they get really fat?
Stop it. You stop it.
With the science, if I ate the low-calorie science diet cat food, would that help my six-pack emerge if I were to replace
No, actually, I'm sure it would, but that would be gross. Be like, okay, all you have is your suitcase half-packed with, like, science diet cat food, like, for tour. That'd be the most, we'd be like, wow. And your breath would smell like cat food.
Yep, for tour, I pack like a fistful of pinup dresses and a ton of cat food, and I'm good to go.
That's what I'm going to bring in my little suitcase that I travel with when I come on tour with y'all.
Yes.
I'm just going to load it up. And I grew up with dogs, but we were fortunate to have dogs that a lot of whom grew to be very old, and they started going on the Science Hill just for the dog food. And you would they'd get half a can, and then you'd put the plastic lid on it to keep it fresh.
Yeah.
But it smelled terrible when the plastic lid came off, and it smelled almost worse when you first popped it open because it's got the pet food juice in there.
It's like
I don't
gelatin.
know what.
It's like a weird gelatin.
It's a gelatin. That's exactly. It's the same stuff that gefilte fish is put in, which I love. So you'd think I would love the cat food.
I've never had gefilte fish before.
Oh, don't worry. We'll fix that.
Okay, because I wanna eat that.
I'd love to try that with you, but I'm on a strict cat food diet. So.
Oh my God. Can we talk about how the pyramid has kind of like a riddle, sort of like its statements are kind of riddly? Like it's like the riddle of the Sphinx almost.
Yeah. Feels like, I think there are, this is something I've been thinking about a lot with Night Vale, is we assign meaning and fans assign meaning to every single thing that happens. Rightfully so. It's great that people build headcanons around things. I'm not criticizing that, but it strikes me, especially, reading the story of how the episode came together, that maybe these mean nothing at all, but we assign, and whoever's listening assigns deep meaning to it.
Sure.
Just based on how the more cryptic the message, the more we look for meaning, and then you can build meaning into it later, which is kind of brilliant, but also kind of makes me wonder, well, what else here is, when is a duck just a duck?
But isn't that just the human condition, Hal?
You nailed me.
Gotcha.
The pyramid does take up a lot of space, and it's shouting and it's large, and so we're obviously going to turn to it and be like, but what does it mean? And what does it mean in the broader sense? But yeah, it's possible that it is just a large shouting pyramid.
By the way, I'm literally imagining, do you guys watch Rick and Morty? Have you seen Rick and Morty?
Yes.
I haven't.
Okay, there's this one episode where these like giant heads from another like galaxy come, and they're like, show me what you got to Earth. And like, they have to like, it's basically like a show like The Voice or something, but intergalactically. And like the planet that wins doesn't get destroyed. So I'm just imagining like this giant pyramid being like, I will place within some of your questions, so golden and shining. I can understand the fear, but people towards the end, like even Cecil says that the pyramid that we've grown to love. So it's just interesting how something that invades their town, this happened with the glow cloud, something that invades their town and like basically destroys something, can still be met with awe and wonder and love, kind of.
Right.
Yeah, Night Vale is quick to adapt to new things in its environment at times. It definitely, a lot of time when the big weird comes into town, it it finds a home in Night Vale rather quickly.
Right.
Well, the town is very quick to sort of roll over and show its belly. Like whatever it is, we believe you, we pray to you, you are the all-knowing. We're going to go take these serial executives and throw them in the abandoned mine and work them over. And this is after we've tried to taser you and fire missiles at your surface, which did nothing. So this is actually a little more fight than I would normally expect out of the town as a whole.
Well, I mean, it's just that I think that the secret police and that general mistrust of being like, oh, something's here. Should we shoot at it? Should we explode it? And then when that doesn't work, it's like, well, it's fine. We like it now.
Yeah, we can't overpower it, so we best make friends.
Right.
Yeah. Instantaneous surrender.
In the meantime, while this is happening, Cecil continues to go on talking about different things, especially I really like the public service announcement about the sun checks, like skin checks.
Oh, that one grossed me out so much. I had a big gross moment. I was like, oh.
15, a horn in the back of your knees. Like you would totally, it's like, maybe you wouldn't notice. And it's like, you would totally notice if there was a 15-inch spiky horn coming out of the back of your knee or whatever. It's so gross.
Yeah, Night Vale rarely grosses me out. This one grossed me out. I was like, oh.
And there's red lips at the tip, which is like...
that was one of the big grosses.
For what?
Yeah.
For what?
Did anybody else picture the mouth from the Twizzlers commercials of the 80s and early 90s?
Yes, yeah.
That's the exact mouth, right?
Yep.
That's where it comes from.
Why don't I remember that? I imagine the one from Rocky Horror.
It's similar.
Yeah, those mouths were related for sure.
Ugh. I love that in this episode we get a nod. We do a little bit of an inward nod, and there's this fake Audible ad that's in the show.
Yeah.
So yeah, we get a little tongue-in-cheek, self-referential. Yes, we are a podcast, so we're going to put a fake Audible ad in our thing. So I think that's the style of writing of it is very funny, and it starts out pretty earnest, and then it does the thing where it takes you somewhere new. And we're not sponsored by Audible in this episode.
Can we talk about all the street signs, the semaphores? Have you ever seen that? Like, people do the semaphore thing. Like, it's a bunch of different like arm motions.
Yeah.
You know, it looks very much like flags. Meg, you were a flag girl.
I was in the color guard. I did not do semaphore flags.
Did you learn? Is that like a thing? Like,
I learned nothing of semaphore flags until I later in life learned what that was.
Can you still do tricks?
I can still do tricks, yes.
Wait, what tricks can you do?
I can throw a flagpole in the air pretty far and then catch it.
Like, it'll be all flipping around and stuff, and then you catch it?
Yeah, I need to, and I can catch it anyway.
Wow.
There's the trick about flags is that it's like usually it's between 6 and 7 feet of flagpole, and then it's got a flag on it. It's called a silk, and so the saying was always, "You've got 6 feet of pole and 5 feet of silk. Catch something." So even if it's just like this big thing hurling back at you, you have a pretty good shot of getting your hands on it because it's big. So
you're like, don't let it hit your face.
No, I took a flagpole to the face more than once, many times. But that's how you get good at something, is to repeatedly get hit in the face with it. So.
That's why I'm so good at riding a bicycle.
That's why I'm good at making smoothies.
You must have looked like one of the kids from You Can't Do That on Television for like the first year.
Yeah. I
make a lot of really contemporary references. Judging from the average age of the fans that I've met, there's no way any of this is am I the old uncle of Night Vale who comes in like, here are some great references, kids?
Yeah, I mean, all of us are a little older than the Night Vale, predominant Night Vale fan base. Night Vale's lucky in that it enjoys fans from all walks of life.
True.
Sometimes we have kids. Like we were in Winnipeg. We had our the fan that we met in Winnipeg. That was like, how old was that? The fan that we met in the Stella's Symphony.
He was like 10.
Yeah.
But his parents, that's my favorite thing, is when we meet fans and their parents, and that was the way that they all connect to each other. Like, they all listen to the show together. Yeah. They go to live shows together. It warms my coal black heart.
It does. It's nice when they get to do things together. There's like an intergenerational thing. So yeah, it's nice that we have some young fans. I'd say we mostly have younger fans, but there's also fans who are, I guess, around our age or a little bit older. We haven't really cracked the like 80 plus market yet, but that's because I don't think most 80 plus people
know what a podcast is,
are aware of what podcasts are. But for those that do, we probably have some out there. But yeah, I think that, Hal, you're the old uncle, but
hey, I'll tell you what, there's been a couple places that we've played where the saints or the people that were ushers for the show were older, but they volunteered at the theater because, that's what they do. And then they get to see live theater or shows or music or whatever for free. And so many people, like in Florida, had no idea what our show was, what happened during it, what a podcast is, where you listen to it. Is it on the radio? No. And we have these conversations everywhere we go. But I think once they see the show, we end up having a fan, even if they may not ever listen to the show again, they would be like, oh, that was a really enjoyable experience.
Yeah, there a lot of those people, they grew up on radio dramas,
right?
And this is a way that art form has lived on through audio fiction is through the medium of podcasting. So it's kind of a cool thing, and I wish that there was a way for us to maybe outreach to those people more, because they're older and I'm assuming lonely and sad, and would love to get into some audio fiction.
Have I told y'all? Do you know that when we go to the Keswick Theater in Philadelphia, that one of my best friends in the world, who I've known since I was 12, his mother, who is retired, volunteers at the Keswick to see shows and stuff. So she's always there as a volunteer. She always gets herself scheduled when we're there performing, so I get to see her.
Oh, that's awesome.
So she can cheer extra loud for Philadelphia's own Hal Lublin.
Yes, so Tony she could do that and try to bring pineapple upside down cake, which she made for my mother when she was alive, and will make for my father. She's an incredible. She's so good. She's so good at food. She's so good at it.
Pineapple upside down cake is delicious.
Yeah. I love it. It's so good.
Little vanilla ice cream on there. Get fancy.
If she hears this, guess what's going to happen the next Philadelphia show?
We're going to get one.
Tony, you heard.
And generally, guys, just a shout out. We do not accept food generally from people.
You accept it from Tony because she's been vetted by the Lublin family.
Right. But generally, we don't accept loose food. I guess the word is.
Don't bring us just a bag of Cracker Jacks that you put together.
Well, if it's in a package, for sure we'll take it. If it's booze, totally. But when it's not, because we think that you aren't a good cook, and we appreciate everybody doing their best to make stuff, but some of us have dietary issues that you might not be aware of.
Yes, like I'm on a diet of low calorie science diet cat food.
Yeah,
so
that's all she eats.
So I mean, you could bring that, but I do have my own. So I don't want to be picky, and I don't want to make you feel bad, and I don't want to have to throw out your really nicely baked, delicious, warm chocolate chip cookies because they don't adhere to my low calorie cat food that I eat.
Oh God, this is going to be great when the gifts that we're going to get from people. Now it's just going to be cat food and.
Yep. Don't bring us cat food. Go donate cat food. We're not going to be able to do anything with it. Well, I will. I'm lying. I don't actually eat cat food. I eat buckets of watermelon, which I make the theaters provide for me. So
it's so good. It's so good. Well, I had watermelon tonight after dinner.
It's so good.
So we had as our treat.
But you know what? It has to be good. It has to be good. I did not used to like watermelon. It has to be still toothsome. It can't be too mushy. I don't like when you get sometimes at some diners or whatever, it's like that old fruit salad where it's like honeydew melon that is so dry and tasteless, and dry, or worse yet, mushy watermelon just puts my panties all in a bunch.
Yeah, I think it's important to get it right. Up next, we're going to hear from fans and friends of the podcast about their theories, comments, and questions. But first, a conversation about this episode's weather. This episode's weather was Last Song by Jason Webley, and what an excellent, epic song it is. I feel like I've heard this song 100 times when Jason tours with us as a live weather.
Yes, I love Jason Webley so much because when you listen to this song, I had an idea of what that person looked like, all that stuff, because I hadn't seen a picture of him. And then when I met him, I was like, oh, wow, he's not what I imagined in my head. I just imagined somebody big and gruff and whatnot, but he is the most lovely person. But I have to say that this song, and Jason Webley in general, sometimes makes me think of a Bruce Springsteen Irish bar song singing accordion player, because his voice is so gruff, and he's got this really driving beat just from his stomp box and all that stuff, creating his percussion, and then his accordion playing. But it's always kind of sad, and you should know the words and sing along with it in a bar,
Yes, it definitely, certain songs of him definitely lean towards the like, let's all sing along and kind of shout and emote and really like feel our intense gruff feelings. So yeah, and he plays the accordion, he plays the guitar, he has a box that he stomps on. One of my other favorite Jason instruments is the plastic vodka bottle full of pennies.
Yes,
that he plays. I had the honor our Seattle shows at the Neptune in 2014. Jason was the weather, and he came in, we were loading up, and he needed to build a new one of these instruments. And so he just had this plastic bottle of vodka, and we poured the vodka out, and we didn't throw it away. But like all night, everyone was just drinking this horrible vodka mixed with like, I think he brought some sort of Odwalla juice that we were mixing it with. We had to, and he, made the plastic bottle full of pennies. And that's that driving kind of percussive sound that you hear. That's not the stomping, is the vodka bottle full of pennies. I felt like it was a big fan moment to get to help empty that bottle of vodka in Seattle.
So it's so grunge.
It was very grunge. But we've been so lucky to get to have Jason on tour with us. Joseph was a fan. Joseph's sister Anna was a fan, and that's how Joseph found Jason, as any good older sibling will do. Will get you into some good music, and Joseph got into Jason, and we also are big Amanda Palmer fans, and they've collaborated together on a bunch of projects, and they're good friends. And so that's how Jason kind of came into our lives. And we asked, kind of cold called Jason and said, hey, can we fly you to New York to be the live weather for our show? I think it was The Debate, Hal. I think it was your first show, The Debate, with us in New York, that roulette. Yeah.
Yes, it was. And I remember him being there.
Yeah, we kind of just cold called him. We were like, hey, Joseph sent him an email being like, hey, do you want to, maybe we'll fly you to New York if you want to come do the show. And he said yes. And from then, it's just been so cool working with him. We've done a lot of the US with him. We've done Europe with him. I saw him fall down a staircase in Bristol, and it was the most beautiful I've ever seen anyone fall down anything. Jason's a super solid performer, and he comes from theater, and he comes from street performance. And so he's a performer in every ounce of his being. So even him falling backwards down a flight of stairs is beautiful and so controlled because he is so in his body. And yeah, it's just super, super conscious and performative.
He's like a Commedia character come to life.
The thing that always strikes me about Jason is how gruff and Tom Waitsy his singing is.
Yes.
Like, it is visceral and animal. And then you talk to him and he's like the most soft-spoken dude. I don't know if it's because he uses all of his vocal power yelling songs at people, but like, he's just a really soft-spoken, very gentle guy. And he was very like just super nice and unassuming. And then he gets out there and there's something to be said for that ability to sort of turn it on stage and not carry it with you, to have it when you need it, but that doesn't sort of not even hamper, but color your day to day.
Yeah, which I think is good for like being durational. Jason has been in the business for years, and as I said, he started in theater and has been performing and touring for years, and has lots of different aspects and facets to his life. But yeah, he is this kind of quiet, calculated, gentle, reserved person, and then when he walks out on stage, his voice and his instrumentations just like really knock you out. They're very dynamic and very intense. One heck of a performer. I learned a lot just from watching him about how to talk to a crowd.
Yes, definitely. Do you feel like this song is sounds like an anthem to you? Because that's what strikes me, is that this song is just like a great call to, do something, stand up, do something, be great. I don't know. That's how I feel about it. Or, stick your head out of a sunroof, while you're going 60 miles an hour and just give a big wahoo.
I agree. It's a good, strong call to action.
Yeah.
And it's call for solidarity.
So after the weather, we come back and find that the pyramid has disappeared mysteriously, and a little one is left in its place. What do you think about that?
I love miniatures.
Miniature horses.
I like when things are small, especially when there's things that are big.
Because they're portable?
Because they're portable. think it's an interesting dynamic shift that it is this big thing that it's all consuming and then it goes away and it leaves this little tiny version of itself, and it makes you question how big it was to begin with. It plays with the scale of that and memory.
I love that it's described, the pyramid is initially described as being a triangle but three-dimensional. So you have no sense of the scale of it and how much smaller this one is. I mean, it's obviously pretty big, but this is the pattern of these early episodes is like the town is weird. Something really weird shows up. Something really weird usually just disappears on its own. Like it doesn't really require any action, but it's more, here's something weird that happens. Now let's think about what that left us with. What did this mean? And you know, we as the listeners are given the room to sort of contemplate it for ourselves. What does this mean? How do I interpret it? And then how do I interpret it that's changed, that it's perceptibly changed the town, even though it was something that showed up and just disappeared on its own, by its own will.
Yeah. And that happens, again, like we said earlier, quite a bit in Night Vale. But we do find that even those things that do feel like they're overwhelming and impacting our lives have left a lasting mark, even though we didn't do anything to really get rid of it. Like it went away on its own. But I don't know what that says about us as people.
Think about how many things come into your life that are odd and unexplained, have a huge impact on you. You have zero control over them. No matter how much you try to exert control, there are always going to be things in your life that will just leave its mark, and they just sort of disappear. And it could be a feeling that you have. It could be a person or something at work or school, right, or an actual object. But, you know, those things kind of happen, and we're left to ponder their impact all the time. And they maybe leave a little bit of themselves with us, or they just have some small effect. And those little pieces make a mosaic. So when you step back and look at the effect of all these small things, it's actually a big impact overall. And it changes who you are in a small way, in sometimes good, sometimes bad.
And maybe that is what meditation is all about.
There we go. That's the fullest of circles.
Boom.
But yeah, it's very beautiful metaphor, a very beautiful moment of discussion. Now, shall we go to the fan zone?
Come on.
Fan zone. Go into the fan zone. Wow.
Stay right there. Good Morning Night Vale will return after a brief break.
All right, today in the fan zone, Teresa writes, when I first heard about Khoshekh, I knew there had have been something weird with this cat. So my first headcanon of him was as this cat with strange tentacles instead of legs floating in place, but like he could move and twist around and float in 3-stall-sized bathroom with white tiles on the floor and halfway up some periwinkle-colored walls. Oh, that's pretty. The bathroom has one mirror and it's cracked with only 2 sinks. I hope you liked my headcanon.
So this episode for us marks a very special time. This is episode 9, and this is the first episode that we have recorded since Good Morning Night Vale has been released. So all the other episodes before, we had no idea how y'all would react to what we have to say. And so recently we've gotten a lot of messages where people are talking to us about their Khoshekh and station bathroom headcanons, which I think we talk about in episode 2 of Good Morning Night Vale. We're going to be talking a little bit about some Khoshekhs and some bathrooms because that's what we're hearing from you about. And yes, Teresa, I like your headcanon. It's a pretty bathroom.
Me too. Yeah, the periwinkles. You have a very good eye for design, that white and periwinkle.
Yes.
It's kind of close to what I imagined, but I guess my periwinkle would have been more of a mint or like a dull green. So right on. Maybe if when I get a house, please design my bathroom, but I need a whole mirror, please.
And the idea of the cat with tentacles, though, and it's not just like a regular cat. Like a cat with tentacles is not a normal. That's not what cats look like where I'm from.
I don't know what your cats are like, but where I come from, cats have legs, not tentacles. Hi, I'm Symphony Sanders, and this is Real America.
I'm not here to make friends. That's not true. I am here to make friends.
Thank you, Teresa. I'd like to read something from Cora, if I may.
Please.
Cora writes, I remember visualizing Khoshekh as being made of shadows. I'm not sure if I was influenced by the glow cloud, all hail, but he was one of those cats that's so black and so fluffy that their eyes are like beacons. His fur drifted around him like mist, and his eyes followed your every movement once you entered the washroom. Boy, Cora, you bring up a very good point, something I had not thought of until I read this, which is, what happens to the fur? A bunch of cat. This is not a hairless cat. It seems like we all agree this cat has fur, and this fur is being shed. The idea that the fur makes a mist around the cat, how do you groom that?
No, you don't. It just like keeps misting out. Like that would probably be the easiest cat to groom, don't you think? When it's mist hair.
Use a net and grab it all like you're skimming a fish tank.
And it's all the fur's going to stay in the bathroom for the most part, which is good. I mean, I feel like the hardest part about a pet is that they're everywhere, and like, you know, you find cat hair in your Cheerios and your SymphOs, and but if the cat's just in the bathroom, his misty fur is just confined to there. So it's probably one of the best ways to have a cat is to humanely keep them floating in a bathroom.
Well, I don't know about that because I feel like, isn't there that thing about it when you flush a toilet, like fecal matter flies all over the place?
Yeah, you can't keep your toothbrush near there.
Yeah, right. So I'm like, so is that cat forever unclean, like covered in poo-poos? Like tiny poo-poos?
It's a really good point that we hadn't thought about before, is that Khoshekh is probably covered in tiny bits of poop from the flushing toilet.
Ew, is that what the mist is? I'm going to throw up.
Well, you know what, though? This is something that I've been thinking about a little. There's poop everywhere, right? Like,
yes.
It gets everywhere.
It's everywhere.
We try to think that we live in a civilization where it's not everywhere and on everything just because, like, we can't see it. But, again, just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there.
Because seriously, somebody, like, touches something, you know, or wipes their butt and then they don't wash their hands and then they touch a thing, or, you know, it's floating around in the air and it lands on your whatever.
It's on your shoes, you know, like it's
definitely on your shoes. Definitely on your shoes. Everywhere.
And then you walk with your shoes into your house and then, you know. And
God forbid you walk around barefoot in the grass. There's poo-poos and pee-pees everywhere.
That's why I didn't do it when I was a kid. Would not run around barefoot. Didn't like the grass on my feet. And now I realize I was defending myself against pee-pees.
Oh, good.
You have such a strong will to survive, Hal.
Yeah, my fight or flight is always in full flight.
All right, moving boldly forward. This is from Yanni. Yanni writes, I love how Night Vale can at once seem like a tiny town where Cecil knows everyone by name, but at the same time be big enough to feature an arena, an airport, a large enough population that despite all the deadly catastrophes, it hasn't gone extinct like in 2 weeks. So Yanni asks, how big do you imagine Night Vale to be? And I think that for me, this puts it into an interesting perspective because I also feel like it's definitely this super, super small town, but it's got the infrastructure and population of a pretty big place. So Yanni's just blown my mind.
I feel like Night Vale is somewhere in between a town. It's not a city. It is definitely less than 100,000 people, but I think it's bigger than 30,000. Which is big enough to have like a big high school, there's industry, things like that. Yeah. I don't know. That's in my brain what happened, how big it is.
I think Laurel brings up a really good point. I never really considered the size of the town, but I think I always think of it as being really, really small. Like they have too much stuff for the size of the town, but I don't think everybody knows everybody. I would put it like, I would say fewer than 10,000
I literally
people.
just got that, the Laurel and Yanni. Wow, I'm so slow, but that was good. Hey, remember that when that was a big thing?
It's going to be, by the time this episode airs, it's going to be so far away. People are going to be like, what was that? What are they
Uncle
talking
Hal.
about? Did that happen in 2008? Was George W. Bush president?
Did we have roller skates yet? Who knows what it was? But yeah, I think they have too much stuff for their size, but I would put them in like the 10,000 range or fewer people is what I would say.
Hey, here's something. This isn't on the agenda, but I just something that I thought was funny and pertains to you, Meg Deb. Somebody posted on Twitter. They were like, "I've always wondered, is Deb the sentient patch of haze related to the glow cloud?"
Huh. I'd say cousins.
Okay.
I'd say cousins, like cousins, not in a of a relation kind of way, but in the like your family is really close kind of way.
Like same genus.
Yeah. Like I don't think listen, I say that like the glow clouds and sentient patches of hazes are cousins, but that's not because they share a grandma. It's because they share a connection and a similar story. They were raised on the same block.
Eating the same baked ziti and mozzarella.
Eating the same baked ziti and the mozzarella. The gabagool.
Colleen writes, "Of course, I shouldn't be concerned about such a vile man. But where's Telly? Because Pyramid, I think it was, that said he was blistering or something, and he was whispering weird shit. Where is he now? Is he dead? Was he written out? Is he alive, but Cecil's a petty bitch and won't report about him? I mean, me too, but where's Telly the Barber? After episode 3, I don't know. Do we ever talk about him again? Do you remember, anybody?
Yeah, we're talking about him in episode 9, Pyramid.
Oh, right, so, 9. Yeah. Sorry.
So, I don't know if there's more Telly from here on out.
Like, post that. Yeah. Well, I think he gets what he deserves, probably a little bit, but also Cecil was being a little intense about the whole thing. Right?
Yeah, agreed that Cecil's maybe Cecil's person. Cecil might be a little too close to it, to be reporting on it accurately.
Isn't that sort of the story of Night Vale, though? He's too close to almost everything he's reporting on. It's nice to see him get a little snark in there, as much as he can, for as reserved as he is, especially at this point. We're early on, less than 2 months in.
I do always love those little glimpses into what Cecil's actual point of view, his personal point of view, and not just what he's told to report on.
Yeah, I agree. I have a theory. It's not mine. It's from Greta, who writes, "I think that the pyramid that appears in episode 9 was actually made by the city council / mayor with the intent of brainwashing people into not questioning the things that happen on a daily basis. Also, that could be why the secret police blamed Flakios in the beginning. But something went wrong, and instead of making people ask less, the pyramid gave out questions and answers." I like this theory a lot.
Wow. Yes, I think this is a very interesting fan theory, and I like the idea of brainwashing people. And I feel like they do that, indoctrinating people throughout our time with Night Vale. Don't you?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty common technique among governments to desensitize them to things and then do some other things. That's all. I'm not responding to anything that's going on presently.
Nope. Never.
Governments are tricky. All right. This is a question that kind of came from Nikki, but also there was a voicemail from Kelsey that mentioned a similar thing. So it was talking about how, you guys were each, for Hal and Symphony, you were each cast in Night Vale at kind of a year or so into the year and a half, 2 years into the show. And the question is, had you listened to Night Vale before you got cast in the show, or did you start listening to it after you got cast?
I actually started listening to Night Vale because Cecil and I have been friends for so long. Like, we went to theater school together. And I knew he was doing this thing, and he had been posting about it a little bit on Facebook. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I think it was after the first live show that he posted a video of like fans like screaming and all excited. And I was like, well, what the heck is this thing? And I started listening to it. And so by the time I became involved in the show, I had been listening to it pretty on and off, but then I tried to catch up as much as possible before I came on the show myself.
My first show was, I think, in October of 2013. It was like the fall of 2013, so it was like a year and a half in. And I listened to a few episodes. I think I got up to the initial mention of Steve Carlsberg, and I know like the choice that I made to play him was just based on the script that I saw, where I knew Cecil was going to be yelling at me, and I thought it would be funnier to play him as a really nice guy than it was to come in and play him as an antagonist. It just felt comedically, it's more fun to have this really nice guy just get yelled at for what I thought was no reason. I don't even know if I made it up to Steve Carlsberg being mentioned. I think I listened to like episodes 1 and 2, something like that, just on the plane to New York.
Right.
So, yeah, I had no idea what I was walking into, and the characterization that I chose had nothing to do with any mention beforehand. It was just, this would be kind of funny. And that's why the voice changed from the first time I did it to the second time I appeared in an episode, because I did a Southern accent the first time that I completely forgot about the next time I did it. I just remembered like the sort of rasp.
An actor prepares.
That's it.
Thanks so much for joining us today, you guys, for episode 9, Pyramid. Next week, we will talk about feral dogs, and we will chat with Kate Jones, the voice of Dark Owl Records proprietor Michelle Wynn. Until then, good morning, Night Vale. Good morning.
Good Morning Night Vale is a Night Vale Presents production. It is hosted by Symphony Sanders, Hal Lublin, and Meg Bashwiner. It is edited by Grant Stewart. It is mixed by Vincent Cacchione. It is produced by Meg Bashwiner. Theme music by Disparition. Special thanks to our fans who submitted their thoughts this week. Leave us a voicemail at 929-277-2050 or email us at info@goodmorningnightVale.com to share your theories and ask questions, or to evangelize your cult to us. For more information on this show, go to goodmorningnightVale.com and follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Night Vale Chat. Special thanks to Christy Gressman, Jeffrey Craner, Joseph Fink, and Adam Cecil. Today's adverb is swimmingly. The swimming lessons did not go swimmingly, and they all drowned, which was sad, but for a brief moment, hilarious.